Ew! What is up? What is happening? I hope everybody's doing well. So, let's talk about Alliance War Beta. So I'm in the, I think like many others, I'm in the Season 10 Alliance War Beta program. So basically we got 5 new nodes coming in here. And I just wanted to go over them. Let's have a chat about them. Kind of give you my thoughts on the whole thing. Now, first things first, and I think this would have been, I hope they do this before they make the full-on announcement for what new buffs and new nodes and whatever are going to be coming to Alliance War, is buff rewards. Because if we don't see a buffed set of rewards, then all of this beta stuff just like won't matter. I, for one, still won't give a shit about Alliance War if the rewards don't see a buff. Because right now there is absolutely no reason for anybody to be going real hard in Alliance War unless you're going for top 3, I guess. So, anyways, those are my thoughts on you know, the rewards right off the bat. But anyway, so let's check out these nodes. We got Bulwark, Crush, Dodge, Siphon, and Flow. I can tell you right off the bat, me personally, I think Dodge and Flow are not super interesting. So let's just go in here. I've got a team set up. I can show you a fight from each map, or with each node, and we can just kind of go from there. So let's have a look here. The node is Metal Defenders are immune to armor break debuffs. Whenever a Metal Defender loses more than 4% of their max health from a single strike, they gain an indestructible buff for 5 seconds. This ability goes on cooldown when a indestructible buff expires for 5 seconds. Okay, so this is kind of basically geared towards like the Corvus and Ghost, but it's really not that big of a deal because you can just kind of play around it. I'll show you that it's really not that big of a deal. So let's just go at who would be a good one. Let's just do Unstoppable Colossus, and we'll use Beardo, so we don't need to deal with his Unstoppable. And I'll just show you that it's not hard, because you basically are, every time they lose more than 4%, they're gonna get a indestructible buff that lasts for a few seconds. Then there's a cooldown. So if you're running Ghost or Corvus, you can just get your special in there. It's really not that difficult. So it's not a huge. It's aimed at those guys, but it's not a big deal. So let's see if we can't get a Fury here. Get them to lose. Let's see if we can't trigger it. There it is. So you can see right there, we've got the indestructible buff. It's lasting for a little bit. Now it's going to go on cooldown, and this is where you can kind of do your big damage. The cooldown's pretty long, so it's really not that big of a deal. Oh, this is Spite. Okay. Let me get a Dexterity. So basically, if I were playing this one, I'd want to trigger that buff, right? Which I can't seem to do. Anyways, you guys get the gist of the, like, I guess what's interesting is I'll show you that the damage you do, like if you want to throw an L3, you're going to do all that damage, and then the indestructible buff is going to proc. So you can see I did a shit ton of damage, and now he's indestructible. You see that? So that's pretty cool. I'm glad it doesn't like cap the damage at 4% and then the buff comes. So that's really not that big of a deal. So if your first hit's going to do a shit ton of damage, then you're good. Now, you know, as for a Ghost or Corvus, your first hit's going to do the big damage, and then they're going to have that indestructible buff. So if you're going to be playing this node, I recommend, you know, you want to trigger that first and then use your special in the cooldown. So it's really not a huge deal. I think it's a fine node. I don't think it's over tuned or anything. I think it's cool. No big setback for me there. I think if you're a Ghost or Corvus player, it's not going to be a big deal. Okay, so now we're going to go on to Crush. This is an X-Men. It's an X-Men Merc buff, I believe. So let's see, who do we want to fight here? We could fight. Let's fight Gold. Ooh, that's Starburst. I don't like Starburst. We could do Rogue. Rogue's probably fine. Yeah, it's backup recovery. Okay, so the node is X-Men and Mercenary Defenders gain 50% attack during special attacks, and their special attacks ignore 50% block proficiency. So basically what this is going to do is don't have a special hit you, and don't have a special hit into your block. They're just gaining a ton of damage. So I'll just show you, who could I'll show you, okay, we can do Beardo again because he has really good block proficiency. And you're going to see how much damage I'm going to take on a blocked L1. So, and you can see how much damage Rogue actually heals from this. Okay, so we're going to bait out this L1. See if she'll throw. There we go. So that did 7,500 damage. So yeah, obviously pretty strong. So now I'll just let it hit me, and you'll see how much damage it does. Oops. I don't want to get hit like that. There we go. So that did, obviously that's a 5k crit from her special, which is really strong for Rogue. That's definitely has to do with the node. So, yeah, that's how that works. If you get hit with, if there's a Sabertooth on that node, make sure you know how to dex his specials, because if you block any of that, you're in trouble. Or Cable, his L1, if you take any block damage, it's going to be a lot of damage. So, making sure you have the right chance for those nodes. But again, I don't think it's overpowered. I don't think it's a big deal. Okay, this next one I think is dumb. It's Dodge. And it is what it sounds like. It gives champs evade. Now, we all know that if, Black Widow has a 3% chance to evade, then what do we have here? Let me read this to you. So, size small defenders have a 15% chance to evade incoming attacks. Whenever this defender evades, they gain 40% of a bar power. So I find evasion-based nodes to be uncreative and stupid. So yeah, I think this node is horseshit. I think there shouldn't be this node at all. There's no way you could tweak this to make this interesting to me. I think evade champs are... I think evasion is boring, it's stupid. I'll show it to you. This is funny, she's evading less than Black Widow does. Oh, there it is. Okay, so you can see there's an evade, and then she gains 40% of a bar power. I don't know. I don't find that to be very interesting. I find that to be kind of a bummer. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, cool. Unblockable. I blocked it. Oh, evade power. Yeah, cool. So yeah, like I said, I think this is a stupid node. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Isn't that fun? And I know I'm kind of just button mashing. Oh, and some people are like, well, you just suck. And, that may be. Ooh, double evade. Cool. Isn't that fun? That's awesome, dude. What a great, great node. So, yeah. When it comes to this node, I honestly don't really have... My only suggestion for this node is to just remove it. I don't think it's interesting at all. I don't think it's creative. I think there are way cooler node designs that you could, bring into Alliance War that wouldn't just have BS evades. Okay, so next node is the villain node. So the node is villain defenders recover 4% of their max health with each landed strike, and recover 2% of max health with each blocked strike. So obviously if you get hit, they're going to regen, whatever. I don't really see that to be that big of a deal, but the blocked hits, dude, 2% for all blocked hits. For any stun immune node, if you were to put a Mystic on a stun immune, okay, so this one is, this one's all or nothing and encroaching stun. We're going to run Beardo again. Beardo's really good for encroaching stun, by the way. So yeah, I'm going to show you how this works. So first we want to get a few hits in. So you see he's got some damage down. Now look, he's regenning so much. I'm trying to bait out a heavy, and yeah, I mean, this one's kind of gnarly. I think it's kind of cool, though. I think it's kind of a fun thing to play around. But it's pretty gnarly. There are a lot of champs that we use to, reverse. And, that's, you could bring a Void in and, have it so... you get a bunch of debuffs on him, and then you let him hit into you, and then he kills himself. I think that's kind of cool. But you can see here, man, this is kind of no joke. He's definitely regenning. So I actually think this one's kind of interesting, actually. I think it's kind of fun. just because, you know, there's some things you can play around with. And so we want to bait out this. Oh yeah, it's all or nothing. So yeah, you can see, man, this one's pretty crazy. So also he's gonna gain 4%. How much does he gain here? So he's at 40% now. He throws his L3 and he gains 4%. Yeah, man, that's pretty crazy. Super interesting node, though. I think this node's actually pretty cool. We're just gonna quit that fight. So I'm not mad at that node either, because there are so many ways that you can reverse regen, or heal block. I think there are a bunch of different ways where you can handle that node. So I don't find that to be too overpowered. So I think up until these, nothing has really been overpowered. I think the dodge node where small champs evade, 15% of the time, I think that's just horseshit. I think that's stupid. I don't think it's overpowered. I just think it's stupid. So yeah, I think we all know just flat evade nodes are stupid. Anybody who's fought LOL with that flat LOL evade has just found that to be super dumb. So it's just annoying. You'll be having a great fight. You're working with all these things, and then all of a sudden they can just evade on you. I don't know, man. That's stupid. Okay, so then this next node is just flat out overpowered. It's insane, dude. It's fucked up. It's not a fun node at all. So the node is flow. It's called defensive tactics. So basically it says critical strikes against control defenders grant power flood, causing them to gain 5% of their max power over 10 seconds. So it's not just like a flat 5%. It's a buff. It's a power flood buff, basically. So whenever you land, so control champs are anybody who has power control, right? So if you crit against them, they're gonna gain these power flood buffs. And these power flood buffs stack, which is fucking crazy. I hope Kabam realizes how insane this is and makes it so they do not stack. If you're gonna have this, then make it refresh or something. This is absolutely insane. Alright, so I'll show you with magic. So I can get a power lock so we can actually survive long enough to... I'll show you how much they stack. So let's see if I can get some crits going on here. Of course, no crits. Okay, so you can see, look at that. 3, and look at the power. Just flat gaining, and it's oh, please use your special. No, you're probably not going to. Okay. Dude, it's insane, man. Having those crits stack. Alright, cool. So let me get this power lock on. Okay. So now that they're locked, let's see how many of these we can stack. Alright, so we got 3, 4, 5. It's insane. So Kabam, if you're watching this, please tone down this node. Please make it so they cannot stack. So yeah, because I mean, there are some certain, you could be oh, we'll use somebody who converts buffs, do somebody who does a lot of damage, Sim Supreme. Yeah, that's all well and good, but come on, man. Stackable power gain buffs for every crit? If you had a Hyperion, it doesn't matter who you're running, man. If you get a little bit of bad RNG with somebody, you're just going to stack. No, it's not cool, man. So I think 1 is fine. If it refreshes or something, that's fine. That kind of gives them a constant power gain. But having them stack is fucking crazy. Yeah, so we'll just do a quick overview and then we'll call the video. Let me get out of this map and we'll go over the 5 and then I'll give you my final thoughts on the whole thing. Okay, so first one was Bulwark, and that was... Which one was Bulwark? I kind of forgot. Oh yeah, metal champs are immune to armor break. And then they, if you do more than 4% of their damage, they get an indestructible buff. But that first hit does not cap at 4%, so I think that's cool. You could just run a big L3, a Proxima could drop a big L3 and end that fight before they got their indestructible buff. And then there's a cooldown for Corvus and Ghost players. I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think it's a nerf to them either. I think you just need to play around it a little bit, and it's fine. You got X-Men Merc, which gives those champs huge bonus damage on their specials and also reduces your block proficiency quite a bit. Just got to be careful with that one. I think that's also, you can play around that as well with just, you know, knowing how to dex their specials, and that's fine. Dodge, 15% evade on all small champs. They get a 40%. They get 40% of a power gain every time they evade. That's horseshit. I don't think that node should be included at all. Go back to the drawing board on that one. Fuck that one. Siphon, villain champs. That one's cool. I think that one's actually kind of fun with the regen. You can play around that. You can reverse the regen. I don't think that one's a big deal. Control, the flow. That one's overpowered too. You need to tune that down to just one power gain and have that refresh. Critting multiple times and stacking power gains is stupid. Alright guys, well that is Alliance War Beta. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah, share this one around, get everybody's thoughts on the beta, let Kabam know what you think. Also, buff those fucking rewards, because all of this is horseshit if we don't, like, get improved rewards, because it's just going to be more, it's going to be making the game harder for the same rewards. Not a fan. Alright guys, so yeah, buff those rewards, and then we'll talk about these nodes, alright? You guys have a fantastic day. I'll check y'all later. Peace!
Hi guys, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button.